Hello there, it's time for the second half of section 3.6. We're still converting measures between systems. These are just more applied problems. There's a few more steps and having to use some logical reasoning through them. So we kind of separated it out just to make it a little easier on you. Okay, so you are asked to complete each statement using less than or greater than. And we're comparing 25 ounces to 2 kilograms. It would be great if we were comparing ounces to ounces or kilograms to kilograms. Then we would know exactly what we're dealing with. So that's kind of what you need to do for these. So the first thing you should notice is I'm not comparing 25 to 2 because this is 25 ounces and that's 2 kilograms. The way to compare these to know what's actually more is they need to be out of the same unit. So now is when you kind of decide, do I want to change kilograms into ounces or do I want to change ounces into kilograms? All right, actually what I would do is I would just think about the knowledge that you have, and as far as ounces go, I know how many ounces are in a pound, and I know that on that little sheet that I gave you for 3.6a, we know how many pounds are in a kilogram. So I'm going to change these ounces to kilograms, but it's going to take us 2 steps because we can't just jump straight from ounces to kilograms. So here's what I'm talking about. I know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound, okay? And I do know how to get from pounds to kilograms. So starting with this, I'm going to take my 25 ounces over 1. And remember, the unit that you want to get rid of, you put it in the bottom. And I'm trying to go from ounces to pounds right now, because I know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. Alright, so ounces are gone, and 25 times 1 pound is 25 pounds, and 1 times 16 is 16, and when you take your 25 divided by 16, we get 1.5625 pounds. Alright, now we're not done yet because I want to know how many kilograms that is still. So now we're going to take pounds and we're going to change it to kilograms. So there's 2 steps here. So I'm going to scooch my paper along. I'm going to put this over 1. I'm going to put pounds in the denominator, and I want to get to kilograms. And in your note sheet, I can show you, if you remember this, it says that 1 pound is 45 hundredths of a kilogram. So I'm going to put the 1 by the pounds and the 45 hundredths next to the kilograms. This should all be looking kind of familiar from the last lesson, right? So pounds will cancel out. I need to take 1.5625, multiply that by 0.45, and when you do that, let me see what I got here. I got 0.703125, and that's pounds. I'm sorry, that's kilograms, that's not pounds. So now we can compare about 0.7 kilograms to 2 kilograms, and we can see, hey, that's a lot less. Yeah, that was pretty easy, huh? I know, it takes a lot of practice with this. This will actually be helpful to you when you're trying to do physics problems later on. You'll have a whole stream of these things lined up. Alright, next one. I have centimeters, 7 centimeters compared to 3 inches. And we want to know which one is more. Well, we need to either turn the centimeters into inches or the inches into centimeters. I'm just going to go with centimeters into inches. Why not? So 7 centimeters. I want to get rid of the centimeters. And I do have a conversion from inches to centimeters that we were given. So 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So I'm going to put inches up here. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Centimeters will cancel. 7 times 1 inch is 7 inches. 1 times 2.54 is 2.54. When you take 7 and divide it by 2.54, you got about 2.8 if we're rounding. This is what your calculator would look like. I'm just going to call it 2.8. So this is the same as 2.8 inches. Now when we're comparing, we get to compare inches to inches. That's a lot easier, right? So 2.8 is less than 3. So it's another less than. Okay, now moving on to, maybe you're wondering what this is. I don't know if you've seen it before. We have 8 cups being compared to 2 liters. Okay, now with this one, it's another one that's kind of like the first one. There are a few steps to this. One thing that I do know, that hopefully we've talked about in class, all the common things, the common conversions, is that there are 4 cups in a quart. And I know that we were given quarts to liters. So what we'll do first is we can change these cups into quarts, and then we can change the quarts into liters, and then we're comparing liters to liters, which is our goal. So I have 8 cups over 1, and I want to go from cups to quarts. And I said that there are 4 cups in 1 quart. I didn't come up with that. That was there long before me. Okay, so in this one, the cups would cancel out. I'm left with 8 quarts over 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I have 2 quarts. Okay, now it's still quarts being compared to liters. I want to change these quarts into liters. So I'm going to put the 2 quarts over 1. Quarts in the denominator and liters in the numerator. And again, on the sheet, it says that 1 quart is 95 hundredths of a liter. So I'm going to put the 1 with the quarts and the 95 hundredths with the liters. Now the quarts can cancel out. I need to take 2 times 95 hundredths. I get 1.9 liter over 1. So 8 cups is equivalent to 1.9 liters. Now that we're comparing liters to liters, it's pretty easy. 1.9 is less than 2. In the beginning, when you look and you see 8 and 2, you think, oh, it must be greater. But it's not 8 liters, it's 8 cups. All right, last one like this. I have 3 ounces, and that's being compared to 70 grams. And I need to know which one is worth more. All right, well, on the sheet, I didn't give you the grams to ounces or ounces to grams. But we do have, let's see what can help us here. I see kilograms here. I see 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms. So that might prove to be helpful. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, let's use our grams conversion. So if I know that 1 gram is 0.0352 ounces, I'm going to take my 3 ounces over 1. I'm going to put ounces in the denominator because I want them to go away. And I'm going to put grams in the numerator because that's what I want. And the conversion is 1 gram is the same as 0.0352 ounces. All right. Ounces will cross cancel. The 3 times the 1 gram is 3 grams. 1 times 0.0352 is just that. We take 3 divided by 0.0352, and we get 85 point lots of stuff. So I'm just going to write 85.2 and round it to the nearest tens place. So 3 ounces is the same as 85.2 grams. Now that it's grams to grams, we can compare. So 3 ounces, even though 3 is a lot less than 70, 3 ounces is actually 85.2 grams, which is greater than 70 grams. So basically with these, you decide which one to convert. You use the measurements that you have for your conversions, and most people prefer to use the ratio method. So I use the ratio method in all of these. You could be setting up proportions if that's the one that you favor. So that's part 1. Now, pretty heavy stuff. Okay, so now kind of word problems or situations to go along with this. Which of the 2 remote control planes would be faster? Well, the monoplane is 50 miles per hour, and the biplane is 70 kilometers per hour. Now you might automatically be thinking, well, it's the 70 one, because the 70 is more than 50. But this is 50 miles per hour, and this is 70 kilometers per hour. So that's a problem, isn't it? We need to know how many either kilometers per hour this one or how many miles per hour that one is. And again, you have a conversion. We have a miles to kilometer conversion right here. So we can easily switch this. Why don't we just switch to the monoplane because it's first. Why not? So this is 50 miles. Now this is different because it's miles per hour. It's giving me 2 parts. So this is 50 miles per 1 hour. I'm going to use the same kind of concept here. I still want the miles to go away. And I want them to become kilometers, right? So that we can compare it to that. So on our little sheet, it said that 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers. So here, miles cancel out. You're left with 50 times 1.6 kilometers, which gives me 80 kilometers. And on the bottom, we're left with 1 hour times 1, which is just 1 hour. So we still have our rate here. It's 80 kilometers. That doesn't look like an 8. There we go. 80 kilometers per hour. And that's 70 kilometers per hour. So even though this was 50, the monoplane would be faster. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay. Last little part here, and this is one of those double things where instead of just saying 50 miles to kilometers, we were changing 50 miles per hour. We have 70 miles per hour changed to kilometers per hour. So not to be confused up here, this was already 70 kilometers, so we didn't already do this one. If I want to change 70 miles per hour into kilometers per hour, I'm going to do what I just did up there. I'm going to start off, I have my 70 miles per 1 hour. I want miles to go away, so I'm going to put them in the denominator. I want to change those to kilometers, so I'm going to put that in the numerator. We know that every 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. So the miles are gone. I'm left with 70 times 1.6. That gives me 112 kilometers on top, and then 1 hour times 1 is just 1 hour. So 112 kilometers per hour. That's the same as 70 miles per hour. All right, last one here. I have 230 millimeters per second, and we want to change that to inches per second. Okay, so we don't have a conversion from millimeters to inches. If you look at what we do have, we have inches to centimeters though, right? So we could probably change millimeters into centimeters and then go from there. Not probably, that's what we're going to do. So this is kind of a two-part like we did before. We're going to go from millimeters to centimeters and then go from centimeters to inches. So 230 millimeters per 1 second, and I'm going to go from millimeters to centimeters. Now this one I think we know, right? There are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. So the millimeters will cancel. I'm left with 230 times 1 centimeter, so that's 230 centimeters, divided by 1 second times 10, so that's 10 seconds. And when you divide 230 by 10, we get 23 centimeters per 1 second. Okay, so if we have 23 centimeters per second, and now I want to change that to inches, and now this is a lengthy one, we're going to keep on going. I'm going to take my 23 centimeters per 1 second. I want centimeters to go away, so I can end up with inches. And on your conversion, it says that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So centimeters will cancel out. 23 times 1 inch is 23 inches. And 1 times 2.54 is 2.54, and it's 1 second. So I have my inches per 2.54 seconds. I want per 1. So to change that into the unit rate, we take our 23 divided by 2.54, and we end up getting, I'll show you, we get this. I'm going to round it to the tenths place, which would just be 9.1. So 230 millimeters per second is the same as 9.1 inches per second. That was a good time. See you tomorrow.